Guys, I am really excited about H1Z1's new update that they are releasing next week on the test servers. I just got done watching Community Outbreak, which is on Fridays. Just got done watching that. They went over a slew of new items and changes that are coming into the game very soon. I'm really hyped to talk about it, so if you guys do end up enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that like button, baby, and also subscribe to the channel for more H1Z1 content coming soon. Let's immediately get right into the video. So the first thing that they talked about was the new crate drop system, and how that actually works is however many people are still left in the game, X amount of crates will drop from a singular plane. So let's say if there are 100 people still left in the game, 3 crates will drop out of the plane. Let's say there's about 50 people left in the game. It's a little bit later on. 2 crates will then drop from a singular plane, and then further into the game, when there's probably sitting around 10 to 20 people left in the game, there will only be 1 crate drop per plane. Also within those drops, it'll be the regular loot that we usually see. Laminated armors are now taken out of the open world and only put into drops. I don't think they're put into each and every single drop 100% of the time, but it should be relatively the exact same loot that you will be finding in current crate drops in the live servers. In addition to the new crate drop, there is a circular bomb pattern now. There should be a bomb dropping directly on top of the crate with some space in between that and a ring of bombs around that. So that will be very consistent rather than what it is now. It's just a random line of bombs going around or even farther past the crate, which doesn't even make sense. So it's good that they're adding that into the game now. Next up are gun sounds. Every single gun in the game has had its gun sound change, whether it's the Magnum, the M9, the AR, the AK, the Hellfire, the sniper rifle, the shotgun. I think I just named every single gun in the game, other than the crossbow and the bow and arrow. There we go, I think I just named every single gun off in the game. Every one of those guns just got a brand new sound. I personally really love it. It sounds just as a real weapon should, so that's really awesome. And I honestly can't wait to see that on the test server next week. This is a big one right here. They just added a grenade slot, which will be your number 4 on the keypad. Usually that's where your fists are. They just replaced that with the grenade slot. You can put grenades, molotovs, flashbangs, whatever you want in there. It serves as a throwable slot. Also, in addition with that, I think they kind of decrease damage across the entire board on all of those throwables, as well as adding in a slow arc. So when you hold the throwable out, it doesn't instantly create that arc as it used to. It now creates a slow arc that eventually ends up at its target and then relapses back over and continuously does that. So that's a very cool mechanic that they're changing right there. Grenades and throwables will now roll when they hit the ground, so they don't just stick as if they were before. Very cool. Grenade damage is less, as I just stated, and everything else seems to be doing less damage as well, just so it's not as overpowered as it should be with that new extra slot that they added in. And yes, you can still hold 3 weapons in your hand. You can hold 2 ARs, a shotgun, and a throwable now, which is really cool. Also, what they changed, which looks really clean, which I'm hoping they get to the entire in-game UI soon. They have changed the proximity and carrying UI, which is now layered out like a grid. Each item will display in each one of those boxes, which is pretty much how we had it before. It just looks a little bit more clean, so I'm glad they're moving into that direction. They've also added new lighting into the game as well as new audio, so if you're sitting in a building shooting, somebody outside will hear a muffled shooting noise from the building of which you are currently shooting in. So it adds a little bit more dynamic to that, which is very cool. They have also added outplay mechanics back into the game. You can now drop shot again and seat swap, whether you seat swap into the second seat, the back seat, the middle seat, doesn't matter. You can seat swap into any one of those. It's very cool. They're also working on jump shotting, which will be pretty cool, but they're still working on that, so I guess we'll wait and see within the next couple of weeks on what they're doing with that. This is a big one right here, guys. They have finally fixed ENAS and the desync that comes with it. They just showed it off at the Community Outbreak, which looks fantastic. You cannot consistently go back and forth anymore. If you do try and do that, it'll give you a penalty and kind of limit you from your movements, making it look like you're kind of running in a straight line, dodging back and forth ever so slightly. So that mechanic looks like it's completely taken out of the game now, which looks very nice. And honestly, I'm very tired of trying to gun people down like that. Ultimately, for them to just run up here and one pump me in the face, definitely not a great time, so I'm glad to see the end of that. They've also stated that there will be no more end game gas circles in cities. No longer will be at the end game, so that's really cool. I hated fighting in cities. It was just a camp fest, and wherever you went, somebody was just shooting you in the back, and you know, it just wasn't a great time. Even if you did have high kills, it was pretty much just a ruined game at that point. They're also redesigning the scrapyard, so they're going to be adding relatively new skins into the scrapyard, redesigning the entire functionality behind that. It was honestly just useless for these past, I think, year or two. It just, you know, nobody really even used it that much, so I'm glad to see that finally get a change. And finally, they did mention a prestige system, but they're not allowed to talk about it at this time.
A couple other things that keep coming up is the prestige system. I know when you hit level 100, things like that are being designed. We don't have a lot to talk about that today.
So they are definitely adding a prestige system into the game. Really exciting stuff right there, guys. I actually haven't been this excited for an H1Z1 update in a long time. I know I just put out a video the other day kind of diminishing H1 and, you know, talking about their concurrent diminishing player numbers and support for the game. But I think this update will actually bring it back up a little bit and, you know, have H1 prosper again. Definitely not as much as it once was, but it'll definitely bring some players back, and I'm really excited to see that. So that's all we have for today's video, guys. What are your thoughts on all of these new updates coming to the test server next week? Are you excited to get your hands on it? I definitely am. I'm actually really pumped about it. Now I gotta wait an entire week to try it out. So I guess that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to smash a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel for more H1Z1 content coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.